welcome to Transcendent Voices, Volume 2. Today, I am here with Basal Jones.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hi, it's good to be here.
Yeah, my name is Tessa Price. I'm here with Trans Advocacy Madison. That's kind of our little thingy. So, Basal, you are an artist, an activist, rapper.
Yes.
And a Scorpio.
That arguably is the most important part.
Clearly.
Yes. And a November one.
Yeah.
You gotta be really specific here. Yeah, no, I mean, we get a lot of flack. Everybody says we're evil, but we are what makes the world go round. Okay. Except for Drake.
Okay. He's the exception.
He's the exception.
I get that. So, I got first on my list here. How did you get the name Basal Jones?
Yeah, so I was in high school and I always have an obnoxious British accent. And my teacher was getting annoyed and she's like, if you're going to have a British accent, we got to have a name. And so we're just going through all these names and I'm like, I'm not going to be Charles, I'm not going to be Philip. Like, she was giving me some really bad names. Yeah, but then she was like, Basal. And I was like, ooh, I like that. But I'm like, it kind of sounds like a demon. So I was like, what if it was Basal? And like, I always like Indiana Jones. Like when he's running up in the tombs, like I love him, Lara Croft. Like anytime you running up in somewhere, I love it. So I was like, I'm Basal Jones. You know what I'm saying? I'm a whole entity out here.
Yeah, you got a whole persona to fit.
Yeah, we still don't have a middle name. It's been 7 years, but we don't have a middle name yet. But we're gonna work on it.
You got the space open if you ever think of a good one. So you're like, oh, you're right. Like maybe parsley, rosemary. Another. We got to get more herbs in there. Maybe sage. Fit them all in. I can't think of any other ones. I think those
such a non-binary.
Yeah,
we do.
That's how it segues right here. So you have a gender identity. I'm told.
I do have a gender identity.
And what would that be? Could you start with your pronouns and kind of get into it?
I'm actually really comfortable with all pronouns. Really, like you can really. Get into me. I mean, get into it. I feel like they, them is probably the closest to being the truth or whatever. But there's moments that I don't feel like they, them either. I'm feeling fat, I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling calm. Or I'm feeling like, dude, I'm feeling real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with like all of them.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's super cool. I think gender is such a great thing, especially like this, the non-binary people kind of play with it and kind of like, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling right now?
I think we're masters at it. You know what I'm saying? I think we have, a very unique grasp on what gender really is. Like, if I'm telling you, I feel like all of them and that's some. You know what I'm saying? I got some experience. You might want to ask me, but what you do?
You came prepared. Got all the gender identity ready to go there.
Yes. And I consider myself like gender queer. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, and I like that term because it kind of combines the sexuality with normally trans identified people, and it's a very, I wouldn't say a blank statement, but it leaves a lot of room for different sexualities. It leaves a lot of room for like being, I don't know, like not having
a label.
Yeah. It's like more of an umbrella term, and I kind of I like to play within that.
That is super cool.
An experience.
For sure. I'm just a trans woman normally, but I'm queer for like sexuality because for me, I'm just like I don't like the labels, so the queer is like perfect for just kind of like I'm out there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was like, am I a gay boy? And then I'm like, but I date women. And so it's like, okay. Well, then it's like, and I don't feel like a boy. So now what? What's going on, babes? You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to think that non-binary people are blessed with the fact that we're able to like jump into different different genders really fluidly or be neither, or both. Like, I think that that's all fantastic. And it's fun and exciting. It's fresh. Get into it.
It's fresh. I think some people are threatened by how fresh and how different it is.
Yeah, no, they want, they're simple-minded people. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I don't see someone look like you. Like, you have now. Like, think about it.
Thank you. And like, you're not going to see somebody else that look like you. You know what I'm saying? Why should I label that down to one thing? Maybe once society starts treating me like one gender and one sexuality, maybe I'll do it. But until then, I'm gonna keep living my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had no obligation to perform any specific thing, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
you know,
sister girl, hey man, it's all good.
Yeah, whatever works. Yeah, that's super rad. Yeah. And moving on to something that's not super rad. You might know about hundreds of anti-LGBT bills.
Yeah. In 2023, there was the most we've ever seen, 512. 512. When you were mentioning people being threatened, for sure. It's ridiculous. I've never seen like such an unprecedented attack against a group of people that were minding their business. And any like common, in America, and any of the common last 5-10 years, it's really ridiculous. Yeah. So much of it is rooted in healthcare and education. And we already don't get free universal health care, and our public education is always getting funded. So we're talking about two places that already are needing help. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we're aiming bills that are going to only further drive the wedge of disparity is fucking ridiculous. Can we cuss on this? I'm not cussing.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay, great. Okay, I was going to say, I'm saying some stuff.
That's all right, but it is fucking ridiculous, and there's a certain amount of, like, what are they afraid of? And you're right, they're targeting education and healthcare and things that are already expensive and hard to get.
And, like, we're already considered second rate when it comes, like, within those fields and within those industries. It's like, I don't know. It's like rubbing salt in the wound. Like, you guys are already winning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like why? Not enough.
Yeah, like what is all this? Like, there's bills that are like so crazy that it's like a teacher is not allowed to use a preferred name of a student or use their preferred pronouns. Like, now you're creating a toxic environment where you're supposed to be teaching fucking geometry. Why you're not supposed to be having this gender off with the fucking 9-year-old student. Leave the 9-year-old alone. Get to teaching. Like, there's no room for it. There's other ones that are saying, like, you have to tell the parent if you hear that person's, changing their name. What? That's what you're phoning home for? Not that they're failing. Not, you know what I'm saying? We're not worried about the fact that they're taking books out of schools. We're not worried about the budget cuts. We're not even worried about the fact that I was in school, we barely had toilet paper in the bathroom. No, we're worried about somebody's changing their name. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous. There's no room for it. Too. It's no room for it. It's ridiculous. And I feel like it only seeks to villainize us, because then when we talk about this and we draw light to it, as we should, they're like, oh, you guys are always complaining, but it's like, what do you want us to do? Like, I'm not going to sit by and be quiet about it and allow you guys to push a narrative on these kids who are the most comfortable with themselves that we've ever seen. I love Gen Z. I love the one that comes afterwards. I think it's purposeful almost. Like, stop trying to indoctrinate them in your bullshit.
Well, that's what it is. Like, there's a certain amount of, like, I feel like with bigotry, at least in my experience, there's a certain amount of, like, they need to reinforce it. They need to tell you, like, oh, you're becoming more open-minded, and that's a problem.
Yeah, like, like we're not supposed to accept people. Yeah. Like, we're not supposed to call people what they want. And we're not supposed to, respect who they love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. Especially in healthcare and education. There's no place for it. Like, no. Like, if you don't want to hire me for the modeling campaign, that's fine. But to deny somebody health care, to deny somebody right to have a safe and healthy education, that's criminal. Like, that should be the real crime.
Sure.
And I mean, they can worry about the school shooters. Like, I got a lot of things that they can worry about with the schools.
They're not worried about that. They're worried about the 9-year-old with the different names.
Not. Exactly.
Nicknames. They're like, nicknames. I don't like nicknames. And, different gender nickname.
And it's like, they're acting like trans people the ones shooting up the schools, chair.
They pretend
it's people like me that shoot up. They're like, come on, focus. Let's focus here. Let's focus here. It's ridiculous.
They pretend it is all day, though. They'll know that someone's not trans or not queer, and they'll be like, well, because they're bad and it is something evil, you can therefore, like, connect them to queer.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, I remember, like, even it was jokes in social circles, like, oh, Megan Thee Stallion is trans. Like, you're calling, like, cis people trans in order to, like, invalidate their gender identity. It's coming so normalized. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. It must mean that we're doing something right, though. That's the other thing. Which, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's nothing to be scared of. Like, you know, queer people, we always like hitting you with rainbows and sprinkles. Like, I don't be knowing. Like, we need to get more guns. We need to get scarier, if anything. I'm saying this wearing my all pink.
This is the United States of America. Theoretically, we all have the right to bear arms and do other things. And freedom or whatever. Freedom. We got so much freedom.
So much freedom.
Especially with the politicians.
Can't even go by your name in the school.
Yeah. That's what I call freedom. Freedom is when you go by a nickname and you got to tell your parents.
Man, it's ridiculous. Yeah. And yeah, I'm really glad though. I never thought I was going to be really saying this on wax, but like shout out to Wisconsin, because from what I know, I think only one bill made it anywhere. And I don't know if it made it all the way. I think we're good here.
We're good for now.
Well, that was a that was a very soft, quiet.
I know, I came in there and I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. Election year is with you.
Yeah, well, that's it. And like, talk about, if I can do a little politics aside here. Yeah, I believe that the one bill that got through was vetoed by the governor, and that they just don't have a super majority to like overrule it.
Shout out
that guy. Governor Evers
is his name.
Who is
Mr. Tony
on this issue? He's pulling his weight. So we like that.
We like some things. He does. If he's watching us, you are an all right person. I think
solid.
Good. Average.
I'm not mad at you, which is a very difficult bar for a politician.
I think I like you more than our mayor. Oh,
that's all.
Who didn't even mean to drive up in here?
You can say what you'd like. You can say what you'd like. I
was so excited when she was gonna be on me. I was like, yes, woman, queer woman. She's one of those. She's definitely one of those. She's
got her thing.
I could also hate her more. Like, I could hate her more.
It could be worse. That's a stunning endorsement right there.
If I have no choice, I'll vote for you again. If I have no choice.
Very, very bold. Very bold. Thank you. I might move on here.
Yeah, move on.
Totally unrelated. To something a little bit heavier even.
Let's get into it.
And I know you know what this is because you told me you want to talk about this. This is about... I'm revealing. I'm telling the world behind the scenes.
We collaborated.
I know. There's a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. People take that too seriously.
Yeah, no. Look, they'll start. They're going to think we're on our agenda.
Yes, some jokes we just can't do. Too trans, too queer. Just don't look right. No. So the next thing I have here is the war in Palestine and the occupation of Congo and Yemen.
Yeah, like let's, for one, and I'm going to connect it to first our queer identities and kind of move on a little bit from there.
Yeah.
I see a section of TikTok and a section of discourse that's saying things like, well, the Palestinians wouldn't really support your queer rights. Yeah. Bitch, don't hit me with none of that, okay? Your daddy don't support. Don't you go to Catholic church? Your daddy don't support me. This whole entire idea that queer people are supposed to align with oppressors, which we don't really do unless you're one of those, is ridiculous. Yeah. Like, we're talking about genocide here. I don't care that they don't want to. They don't control me over here. I'm all the way over here. If they don't want me to get married, that's fine. I don't even know if I want to get married anyway. Like, that's such a mute issue when there's children dying, when there's hospitals being bombed. And I'm not buying into it. And any queer people that do, you sniffing the cane. You know what I'm saying? You're sniffing with that cane. You gotta stop. It's ridiculous. For one, Palestine is a very youthful population. And so playing into that, there's been thousands of kids that have just died for no reason. Yeah. These people have nowhere to go because they're following them with the bombs. Oh yeah. We've cut off resources to fresh water. We've cut off resources to, structures, buildings like a home. It's crazy. And our government, speaking of our government, what they decide to do is do things like sending billions of dollars towards Israel. Like, no. We need sanctions. Yeah. We need ceasefires. And we need some people to get... That's crazy. A whole bunch of white people bombing a whole bunch of brown people to take back the brown people's religion. Child, these jokes be writing themselves. Yeah. Like... Jesus, who is definitely black, is not sitting over here telling you to bomb some kids, bomb the hospital. Where was that in the Bible that y'all be reading? It's I'm hurt. And not only, like you said, not only do I want to talk about Palestine, but there's lots of occupations and lots of wars that are brewing and happening right now. And I feel like America is in this really ugly, unique position where we kind of have our hands in our pockets in all these different avenues. And we like to save face by saying, like, we're all free here and we believe in democracy here, but we put money in oppressors' hands. Like, you can't like have your cake and eat it too, baby. Yeah. Okay? Because I don't even get a slice. So these bitches can't do it. It's ridiculous. Like, okay, so the occupation in Congo, let's get into that. For one, Congo is like resourcefully rich. Okay, we're talking about a country that should be rich, like the good soil, that good deep river. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that the first election, that the first true election that they've gotten really since this might be the second one, the first or the second one that they gotten since 1960, which was a long ass time ago. We're seeing police officers attacking people trying to vote, ballot stuffing. 45% of the polling places aren't opening. Machines are malfunctioning. Like, we're getting the same person elected who's rubbing hands with Putin, who's rubbing hands with Mike Pompeo. Like, it's ridiculous here. Like, this is a country that citizens are so poor. And we have world leaders who are invested in the reason because they see the long stride. You know what I'm saying? They see the fact that because we grow here in Wisconsin, some corn. Yeah. You know, like they see how resourcefully rich they are, and I think it's ridiculous that instead of sending billions to Israel, whose land is look how that land looking. That land ain't gonna be worth a lot. They gotta clean that shit up. But why are we sending billions to the people in Congo? I mean, you guys want their resources anyway. Like, it's almost like we're going out of our way to be vicious. Let's get into Yemen. Okay. Yes, Yemen was attacking cargo ships. I know, I'm going to preface that just in case we got the one commenter that's like, well, Basal didn't know. I know that they are doing that. I also know that Yemen is a small country and that us, the UK, what was it? The Netherlands? I never heard the Netherlands getting into something. We got the Netherlands all teaming up. They got a whole bunch of Australia. All Australia's jumping into this. Like, we're talking about countries that have minded their business for decades, all teaming up on this brown country. And it's like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. For one, I know y'all love coffee. Fun fact, Yemen was one of the first. They were the ones that, Ethiopia had the first coffee, the cocoa beans, but Yemen was the first people to make it into the coffee that we know and drink today. Yeah. So I think that it's, I think we hear these stories and we're so disconnected that we forget just how alike we are. We forget that these are people with real life goals, aspirations, opinions, and ideas on a world sense too, and they deserve to be heard. Yeah. They don't deserve to be teamed up because a small portion of extremists, we got our own extremists here. Thank God nobody's bombing the fuck out of us because of what our extremists decide to do, like shoot our schools.
They do that.
So it's ridiculous that all these countries are gonna bomb Yemen, and I already know where this is going because I already saw that they are now bombing a city. I think it's called Sada, and there is no what is it called? Ballistic machinery. There's no militarized force in the city that they're looking to bomb next. So what does that mean? It's citizens. Hello, like this is ridiculous. Like I don't understand how, on a world scale, we are so comfortable with all these acts of war. It's so funny. Yeah. Speaking of acts of war, Russia was like, oh, I don't really appreciate Yemen bombing the ships. Aren't you in a war where you came? Child, these motherfucking politicians, they're driving me nuts. It's really, it's kind of scary. Like when we talk about like World War III, like what qualifiers do we need where it's where that makes sense? Because I'm seeing lots of occupations. I'm seeing lots of wars brewing. Yeah. I'm one away from calling it myself. I'm making the status like I think today is officially the beginning. It's a lot. It's a lot going on, and it's really heartbreaking. And I implore people to do their research. I implore people to speak upon the topic in whatever platform they can, whatever way they can, because there's only so much we can do. And I know that raising awareness, sometimes a little funds, that can go a long way. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I feel like before Palestine really was blown up, people weren't really having conversations about the Congo or Yemen. And now it's starting to like gain traction, and there's even more. There's like the occupation of Sudan, and I'm not going to get into that because I don't know as much information as I know about the other ones, and y'all not going to get me. But not today. But like, I implore people to do some research, and you know, it's going to be hard, but in the same way that in 2020, 17 countries are walking out in protest of what we're going through here in America, we most certainly deserve to be doing more demonstrations, you know, educating ourselves and providing us with the knowledge to teach each other what the fuck's going on around the world, because that's all we got is this world. And, you know, like we were talking about the global warming outside, it's looking a little crispy.
It's a little crispy.
Looking a little crispy.
When you say all this, it reminds me of, you know, the legacy of colonialism, neocolonialism.
Yes, that's
right? Global trade is like very controlled by the United States and Russia, these major players who like blame the Houthis or blame Hamas. Meanwhile, they're like funding the countries that are creating these extremists in the first place.
Exactly. You're funding the countries, and you're looking for the end. You know, you're looking for how can this benefit me. Because, you know, we love us some good oil. You know what I'm saying? We love us some good soil. Like, we even love like just getting in the business. Like, we got to know everybody's business, but goddamn if they know ours. I'm kind of getting tired of it, and we can't continue to have this facade of being the best country ever and just supporting genocide. Or, well, I mean, this country was kind of founded. So they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. They're not ready for that.
We're hoping to outgrow that one of these days.
They're not ready for that.
I think I saw recently the U.S. vetoed for the third time a UN resolution for a ceasefire in Palestine.
A third time.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
And you know what? Like, you'll see these politicians and they'll be asked questions like, do you think that they should stop fighting? And they're like, yeah. Do you agree with the ceasefire? Well, no, because what we can't do. What? Hello?
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen if they stopped bombing the hospitals? What are they so scared of?
They don't want to use the word. I think I heard Biden say that the response was over the top.
Right, because
when
anybody from Israel got murdered, like in the attack, it's murdered, it's killed.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
This one, it's it's deaths, accidents, stuff like that. Oh, that's ridiculous.
Like it's third time, extra. Yeah.
The third time, and it's like, I in a world where technology is advancing, like we're talking about, all types of technological advances, healthcare advances. War is such an outdated method of communication. We should not be in war anymore. We should be having civilized conversations.
Yeah.
And like, if we're going to be at war, then we need to start finding where the aliens at. We need to stop fighting each other and get on the council like in Star Wars. Like that's because the aliens are here. Like that's what we should be focusing on. God damn it. Call the ceasefire off. Stop doing it.
Right.
Now, just like, let the people get their homes back. Say sorry, give them some money, and never do it again. That's all they gotta do. That's all they gotta do.
Oh yeah, it's the business of war. I would say there's a certain amount of like, there's an election coming up, and someone like Joe Biden or his administration or the Democrats even would say, well, if I can support a war, if I can give them a bunch of weapons, that'll help the U.S. economy, and then we'll win in the long run. And it's just kind of like war is the way to peace.
Or even like, ooh, now that like I kind of got what I want, now I'm gonna support a ceasefire, even though I said no the other 3 times. Yeah, no, but they really should, because on the other side, there's been lots of anti-Semitic attacks where Jewish people are just getting their ass beat and murdered because of some shit. Like, they're up here in America because of the shit that y'all got going on. Like, if you don't want to ceasefire for the brown people, who are you gonna do it for? Like, do it for you.
Or like the hostages. There's a certain amount of like, there's a propaganda campaign about saving the hostages. Meanwhile, Benjamin.
They're holding 1 million people hostage, and they're talking about the hostages.
Yeah, they don't seem too concerned about the hostages. Netanyahu or the IDF. There's a certain amount. Well, that would mean stopping the ethnic cleansing.
Just a little. A little. And it's just real crazy. Like I said, when Jesus come back, he gonna be like, "Damn, that's not what I said."
What have you been doing?
He said, "Love each other." I just don't. How can you change love to bomb? Like, in what way can you? And I am gonna say bomb because I'm gonna keep saying it. I ain't gonna say They got a tag now. They over there doing that shit.
Yeah.
Y'all need to know. Am I hacked?
I like that because you hear a lot of journalists, especially New York Times, a big publication, they'll say like, "Oh, people have been mysteriously they accidentally died.
They accidentally died. A tragedy.
Yeah.
That's what they love saying. A big tragedy happened. Another hospital down.
But yeah, when we talk about like passive voice and how like talking about hospitals falling to the ground for some reason, it reminds me of how the media covers trans people dying. It's a lot of there was I believe like a teenage non-binary person recently who was killed, and they were killed in the bathroom after with Libs of TikTok was involved and like this whole thing was involved, and now people are trying to say like, oh, this teen like died from not an accident, but like was deaded somehow, and I'm like, what are you doing?
No, like say what it is. They were murdered, and it was a hate crime. Like people are so scared to say the word hate crime. Yeah,
they say hate crime, they'd be like actually,
I hated them, and I committed a crime, but I didn't commit a hate crime.
Technically,
you did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
Oh no, it's ridiculous, and that plays into like the fact that like we're not 100% people. You know what I'm saying? If a little cis white girl gets murdered, she's got murdered. It was brutal. It was crazy. Yeah. If I get murdered, it was an accident. And what did I kind of deserve to get murdered? You know what I mean? Like there's like this question of like, well, what did you do before you got murdered?
Were you an angel?
Like, bitch, I was minding my business. Right? No, like.
No, it's so messed up.
Shit. Like, Jesus had a disciple that turned on him in the last minute. So how the fuck you judging me? Right? I gotta stop bringing Jesus into it. We're gonna have to say
you're fine.
Have to talk after this.
You're fine. I don't I'm not a big Jesus person, but like I respect that, and I respect you for having those feelings, and it seems like it's a productive way for you to like think about this.
Yeah.
And, like kind of deal with like some of the injustice of the world and deal with your life and being different. And
I like to think of God as like a bigger concept than like this one entity that I could grab in the stars up there. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to think that like the Bible, there's lessons to be taught. A lot of lessons that are like, have peace to your neighbors. And, when you're in war, don't treat the prisoners of war. So there's a whole bunch of things up in there. Like, don't kill kids.
Right? I think that would be common sense.
Yeah, but, no. Well, no ceasefire, so obviously not.
Yeah, you can't say that word. It makes people angry. Let's move on to the collab project, visual identity project. I don't even know what this is. Could you tell me?
So basically, I'm teaming up with a studio. My friend May and me are teaming up. May has a studio, obviously. And what they're doing is they're taking real life imagery and kind of cutting it with like, state-of-the-art technology. And their mission statement and why I decided to join the project really is they're trying to change the way how the algorithm views queer individuals, people of color. I've done some research, and I know a little bit about it myself. I know that the algorithm, prefers a certain type of person, you know what I'm saying? And so basically feeding the algorithm real life imagery for one will probably do it wonders because it needs some real life imagery in there. Yeah. Two, I think this project will be really exciting because you get to see individuals that don't have that platform, that those images aren't being pushed because AI isn't going anywhere, Chad. And I feel like what we can do is we try to kind of ignore it, which I'm still not all the way against that, despite me doing this project, or we can work with it. I be telling the truth, shut up and tell the truth, goddammit. And it has to be something like this. And what I wanted to do in the project was make it something really raw and real, and make the image actually look like a real photo, a real image, something that an artist would make. You know what I'm saying? Not a computer would generate and steal from this person. And like, I want it to look like this all came and there was a solid vision.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, the project isn't all the way done yet. We're still working towards it because we want it to be really perfect. We want it to be smart. We don't want it to harm. Yeah. We want to like cut down the risk of harming other artists' work. So we're trying to like we said, we're doing a real image of me, which is already... It's gonna be me. So
I'm gonna come back at you for some of this AI stuff. Someone might say, why not work with an artist? Would you say that the person with the AI are you feeding it like original art, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we're feeding it original. Yeah, we're going to be feeding it original art. I want to do like a photo shoot of me, you know what I'm saying, with a real photographer, you know. And I would say to that is like, I always am going to work with the artist. I am an artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to work with the artist.
Artist already here.
This is going to be the first and foreseeable only AI project I'm doing. Every time I have a single coming out, we out here with a real photo lens, okay? We out here making it work because I do believe in the vision of artists, and I do know that this is a way to cut corners. And I feel like with all technological advances that cut into like the soul and art of like the art and our purpose, we could work with it, and we could, instead of like going the easy way and like being like, okay, like let's have something that looks totally spaced out here. Like let's have something that's raw. Let's have something that's intricate. Let's have something that tells a story, and that it isn't just for play and to look cute, and to encourage other artists to step forward and or people that want to just use AI. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
So think about maybe combining it with real life imagery. Think about maybe grabbing a queer individual or a person of color and like kind of changing the narrative of what that's already going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like
that is an issue. Like a lot of, so far as I know, like a lot of the algorithms are based around like white faces or cisgender faces or
straight.
Yeah,
all of those.
And they all just kind of assume, like not even with AI, writing or AI imagings, but even just like a Google search. I think people don't realize when we're talking about AI, it's not really like a robot with a soul or something. It's these algorithms.
These algorithms
that do things. These machine learning.
You can look up beautiful woman on Google and you're not going to see a black woman. You know what I'm saying?
There's a machine that's making that decision.
Exactly. But what we're doing is, I think we're fighting within the pocket. It's something that I don't usually do.
Yeah.
May is also a queer person of color, so that's also very important to me. Let me throw that out there.
Oh yeah,
okay.
For sure.
So it's like I want to support somebody with a vision who is going about something that I'm skeptical about, but they're going about it in a way that I don't see get done. It's kind of revolutionary within that field, and I'm a revolutionary myself.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine that this is probably going to be one of the best AI projects ever going to come out. And they better do their notes. They better do their notes. Yeah, I want it to look like me. Like when I was talking about, because we're in talks and we're talking about it. And I'm like, I would really hate that we do this project and like you send me some images back. And I'm like, who the fuck is that?
There's somebody else.
I'm like, who is that black man? It's like, that's not me. That's not me.
Yeah.
So it's like, like let's combine it with real life imagery. Like let's put a little art in the AI. Like, let's fucking do it. So,
for sure.
I'm excited for it. It's different.
You probably know, like, as an artist, like, a lot of the art programs that already exist have, like, these little AI features built in. I do, like, web design, or I'll do, like, Photoshop, and there's, like, little, like, one fill in the background with AI. And they use AI in this way that's, like, it's just an algorithm.
They got AI songs.
Yeah, it's a tool.
It's a tool.
And you can use it to like hurt people, use it to steal their jobs, or you could use it to create original art, which is a different thing, or highlight marginalized identities.
I've seen like somebody come out with an AI song and it's like their weird voice and their spin. I've also seen somebody pretend to be Nicki Minaj with their AI voice and make like a song that she would rap. And like, what's that doing? For one, it's not as good as the song. And for two, what are you doing? Like, why? That's not what we're supposed to be using the tool for. You can't give Nicki.
Yeah, you can't.
Nicki can't even give Nicki anymore.
That's a great segue into your new music. I guess we could talk about you. You're a rapper. You're an artist.
Yes, I'm an artist. I put out 2 singles last year, Soul Drink and Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories had a little mini viral moment. That was amazing. Yeah, and I'm really working. I had an EP planned out. I wanted to scrap it. I'm such a perfectionist. I was like, I want to go back in the studio. I wanted the funds because I wanted it to be bold, fun, fresh.
Yeah.
I got an EP on my way. I'm really excited. I want to contact couple of people for some features, get it all clean and polished. But I'm super excited to bring my music out to the forefront. I think a lot of the times when we think about rap, we don't think about the Midwest first. Like, no. I always hear East Coast, West Coast, even the South.
Yeah, the Dirty South,
Dirty South. But a lot of, like, bomb rappers that I love.
Oh, yeah.
Even ones that I don't love right now.
You're talking about
Kanye.
Yeah, I think I saw you said you're a fan of.
I am a fan of Kanye's music. I hate Kanye.
No, I grew up.
I grew up
in the Bronx.
on Kanye. Kanye broke my heart.
Yeah, broke mine.
Like, Kanye, I love Kanye. I used to pretend he was my husband. And now I don't want to be his wife. Look how he got his wife out here.
No, his just, like, early stuff was so groundbreaking.
It's so groundbreaking. I can't believe the same man that made Jesus Walks is saying some of the shit he is saying now. And you know what? Like, I think another reason why I'm super excited about my music is that, like, a lot of the times you have artists that, they start with a message and they're talking about things and they're getting into topics. And I don't want to lose sight of that. I want to always, come and deliver a message, especially in this age of like TikTok digestible 2-minute pop songs. I think a lot of the times, the reason why we're holding on to this love with Kanye and we're holding on to the love of these greats that aren't sometimes great people is because everybody's allowed to be in the market. And I'm glad that the market is opening. At the same time, if everybody's selling fish at the market, some of the fish ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Some of it's not good. So I'm really excited about my art, and I want to make sure it's really carefully crafted and that it's coming with an identity and a message. Yeah, for sure.
I think I caught a reference in Ghost Stories, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it was the "Bitch, I'm a Monster" reference. That's the Rick Ross line out of Monster, right?
Yes, that's actually one of.
That's how I knew you were a Kanye fan. That was before I read the article.
That's like my favorite. Oh my god, I'm so caught. That's like one of my favorite Kanye songs, Nicki song, like all of them. Like that song. Oh, I'm gonna give some airtime to people who might not deserve.
They don't deserve it, but
they gonna get it anyway. It's a great song.
It's a good song.
It's a great song. And I'm not gonna pretend that it's not. And it's so funny because I feel like a lot of the times, like, I'll be writing, and I won't even think about that. You know what I'm saying? When I heard it on Wax, and I'm in the studio listening to it, I was like, oh my god, not that Kanye reference. But like, as I'm writing it, I'm not thinking like that. I'm over here practicing which voice I should use and which random, like, what's it called? Pop culture moment to bring up into my raps or sports moment or what's on the news or reference. I think sometimes I'm like so into that sometimes that I'd be like, forget it. I'd be like, wait a minute, because that's kind of like, I forgot, like on Soul Drink, somebody told me, they were like, oh, you shouted at Ariana Grande and Lizzo, and I'm like, am I? Did I do that? I was like, oh yeah, I did do that. And I did do that. And you know what? Here's another thing too, though. Sometimes you write these songs years ago. Sometimes you write a piece of it and then you ain't even updated to be all PC and all good. But I'm a work. This is just me. I don't got no management. It's just me.
Yeah, you're an artist.
I'm an artist. When I get the PR team,
when you get the PR package,
then there will be no slip ups.
No, I feel that because like I've done some songwriting in the past and no rap. I've done like rock, like folk, that sort of stuff. I've done a little. I like my cute little pop songs. Pop songs. Pop. Okay. I love that shit. Okay. But so I get it. Like sometimes you'll find an old scrap of paper and you're like, that's a good line and that's a horrible line, and
you'll be like, where did that even come from? But like. And then other times you're like, that was a great line, and you like only focus on how you forgot the other 3 lines. You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, I'm working on. I want to be really intentional. So that's another reason why I wanted to like kind of scrap the EP, because I did have a couple of lyrics that I was like, oh, those are a little outdated, or I don't know if I necessarily agree with that stance. And but I want it to be fun and I want it to be real. So it's like, I'm a learning in progress. Obviously, I have been influenced by these people.
Of course.
And I think that lying about being influenced by these people also isn't a good thing. I don't want to lie and say that I was never influenced by Kanye or by, Lizzo when I was. They're a great musical artist. I also believe that being a fan of somebody means holding them accountable. And if they don't want to be taking responsibility for what I'm holding them accountable for, then we gotta be. Even if we gotta be playing casino on the streets.
No. Criticize Nicki or Eminem all day. I mean, they made some fucked up decisions.
They're good rappers, fucked up decisions.
It's an artist thing. I feel like rock stars is a similar thing. Like rock stars you look up to, you're like, they're not actually great people.
It's rappers and rock stars. Like it's just like they keep beating my ass. You know what I'm saying? I love mindless self-indulgence.
Yeah.
They're telling me that the front man over here touching the kids. I'm like, God damn, I can't have nothing. I can't have nothing. All those people that I said I was influenced by in that magazine. None of them is the greatest people.
Yeah, I'm not here to confront you about it.
No, but it's okay.
I grew up on that too.
I want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to pretend that like I didn't say that, and I don't want to pretend that like when I'm making music, it's not like I don't hear Nicki in this, or I don't hear Eminem in this. Of course I do. I also like just want them to apologize and get their shit together. We can be cool. That's all. That's
just
all.
Be like, hey, I messed up. Like, let's do better. Like,
or you gonna get that hiss, like Megan Thee Stallion said. You gonna get that hiss.
You gonna get the hiss. No, I love it. And there's a certain amount of like, I grew up with like listening to a lot of homophobic songs, misogynistic songs. I go back and listen to like Dr. Dre or something, or some early Eminem, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I love Ronnie Rackett. Ronnie Rackett be making me so sad on TikTok. I'll be like, oh baby,
like, please.
Like, I can't have nobody.
I know. And it stinks because you still like, it's not
Adele,
like
don't you even come outside. Adele, just stay in the house. You one of the last child pioneers. Just stay in the house. Don't say nothing. Can't do it. She already tried with the bantu knots one time. I was like, oh, she stepped out. She's stepping out the house. She's stepping out the house.
It's like these people are larger than life. And like, when you realize they're a person with flaws, you're like...
what? The flaws being an understatement of some of these people. It's like, babes, like these are like morals. Like you just got the fucking morals.
Oh, they got some real.
But you know what? Here at Trans Advocacy Madison, we gonna talk about it. We gonna get into.
We're gonna get into the dirt here. We're gonna get in the flaws because we're being real about like Madison, about all the different people here, all the different stuff we're doing, all the different stuff like we're talking about, and it's been super great talking to you.
I think this has been amazing. I just thank you so much for inviting me. I think that we really got into it. I had some fun. I think I elaborated on some stuff that I was a little shy about. I love that. Thank you so much. It's been great.
Well, thank you for being here. This has been Basal Jones, and my name is Tessa Price with Trans Advocacy Madison. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day.